Hello students, this is a new video on op-amp application. In this video and in the video for next to this, we are going to know about different application of op-amp. Which are the fields, which are the circuits where we can have op-amp as a main electronic device. So welcome you all again and let us start the application of op-amp. So particularly in this video, we are going to cover voltage follower or buffer circuit and adder, which is very important application of 741 IC, that is operational amplifier. So let us first start with voltage follower, right? Yes. So what is voltage follower? As the name implies, voltage follower is a circuit where the output voltage follows the input voltage. Here in this pic, you can also see that the output voltage is 10 volt in an op-amp, from an op-amp, where we are also giving input as a 10 volt supply, right? So whenever a similar output voltage with a similar phase and similar waveform will be obtained from an op-amp circuit, we can say that that particular op-amp is being used as a voltage follower, right? Now, in our previous video, in inverting, non-inverting op-amp, we have studied about the gain of the op-amp circuit, right? Now, for those who have missed those videos, I will share the link in the description box. You can have those videos also, okay? So from those videos, we can find the gain is always output by input. And here, gain is similar, output by input, which is 1. So a voltage follower circuit is also known as unity gain operational amplifier. Now this circuit doesn't amplify anything. It doesn't amplify the input voltage. It doesn't changes the input voltage. So a voltage follower circuit is also known as buffer circuit. Now you can see in this picture, this is the basic diagram of a voltage follower circuit, where we can have a same input resistance as a feedback resistance. The main criteria to design a voltage follower circuit is we must have equal feedback resistance and the input resistance, and as a result we can have one unity gain that we need to have, right? So for a voltage follower circuit, whenever we are going to design a voltage follower circuit, we must have the feedback resistance, which will be same with input resistance. Now, what are the advantages of voltage follower circuit? Why we are going to use this type of circuit? It provides power gain and current gain, right? It keeps the voltage constant, but it amplifies power and current. Low output impedance to the circuit, which uses the output voltage follower. The op-amp takes zero current from the input. It's the property of op-amp, and loading effects can be avoided. So these are the 4 advantages that a voltage follower circuit must have, okay? And last but not the least, very important application where we can find a voltage follower circuit. Voltage follower circuit mostly used as a buffer for logic circuit. As its name also implies, it's a buffer circuit. It's mostly used as a buffer. In sample and hold circuits, we are also use voltage follower. In active filter and in bridge circuits via transducer. So this is all about a voltage follower circuit. What we can simplify from this particular slide, that a voltage follower circuit, here the input voltage will be same with the output voltage. The input resistance will be same with the feedback resistance if we are going to design the voltage follower circuit, and it's used as a buffer circuit, and always the gain will be 1 for voltage follower circuit, right? Next is adder. Very important. Yes, adder or summing amplifier. An amplifier that adds the input voltages. First, look out at the diagram. Here we can see an op-amp is being connected with 3 input voltages and output is being obtained with a feedback resistance RF. Now, since these 3 input voltages are being connected in the inverting terminal of the op-amp, so this particular circuit is known as summing amplifier or adder, but inverting. So this is an inverting adder or an inverting summing amplifier. Okay. Now these 3 input voltages Vin1, Vin2, Vin3 are connected with the input terminal with the resistances R1, R2 and R3 respectively. This is all the diagram explains. Now we have to prove that we are getting output as the sum, as the addition of these 3 input voltages, and hence we can say that this particular circuit can be used as an adder circuit or summing amplifier circuit. Okay. So let us first see what is being written here. An op-amp based adder produces an output equal to the sum of the input voltages applied at its inverting terminal. It's also called as a summing amplifier. Since the output is an amplified one, in above circuit, the non-inverting input terminal of the op-amp is connected to ground. Yes, we all know this. Whenever the voltage is being given in the inverting terminal, and inverting terminal, for an inverting terminal, the non-inverting terminal will be grounded. So that is being done here. Now let us come to the proof or the equation of output voltage. What is happening here? For an inverting amplifier, we all know output voltage is minus RF by R1 or RF by Rin into input voltage, where Rin is the input resistance. Here we are having 3 input voltages and we are having 3 input resistances. So in space of Rin and Vin, we can write that V output equals to minus RF by R1 into V1 plus RF by R2 into V2 plus RF by R3 into V3. Okay, just we are splitting the input resistances, right? Now, if the 3 input resistances are equal, if R1 equals to R2 equals to R3 equals to something, let it be Rin. So we can have V output equals to minus RF by Rin into sum of input voltages, and see we can write, just a minute, yes. I hope you all can see the term, yeah. So finally we can write the output voltage that will be equals to minus RF by Rin into sum of input voltages. So output voltage is proportional to the summation or addition of the input voltages. Suppose we are having 3 or 4 or n number of battery sources that we need to connect to the op-amp, and what will be the output, we can easily calculate it theoretically, and that we can check with our practical projects, right? This is the application of adder or summing amplifier, where we can have summation of input voltages as the output. Yes, in our previous slide, we have gone through the inverting op-amp, inverting summing amplifier, inverting op-amp as an adder. in this slide, we are having non-inverting summing amplifier. So as the name implies, you all know that the input voltages will be connected to the non-inverting terminal, to the positive terminal, and the inverting terminal will be feedback to the output, and also it will be connected to ground. So here also the output voltages will be the sum of three input voltages, that is VA, VB and VC. But I must say here voltage adder circuit or a summing amplifier circuit, mostly it is used in inverting mode. Okay. So here we can have one example of voltage adder. Right, this is for your semester exam also. You can draw the circuit in your copy and can solve. So this is a circuit of an adder where 100 millivolt, 200 millivolt and 300 millivolt is being connected as input voltage with a resistance of 20k, 10k and 50k ohm respectively, and we are having 100k as the feedback resistance. We need to calculate the output voltage. First you can draw the circuit and then we will solve it. So the question is, the audio signals drive a summing amplifier as shown in the figure below, and what is the output voltage. So first what we are having, we are calculating all the gains individually. So for channel 1, the gain will be its ratio of feedback resistance by input resistance, so 100 kilo ohm by 20 kilo ohm, and since it is an inverting amplifier, so it will be minus 100 kilo ohm by 20 kilo ohm, and that is minus 5. Next, for channel 2, it will be minus 100 kilo ohm by 10 kilo ohm, that is minus 10. And the last, for channel 3, it will be minus 100 kilo ohm by 50 kilo ohm, that is minus 2. Right? Now what will be the output voltage? The output voltage will be the summation of these three input voltages multiplied by their individual gain. So this is the equation of output voltages. You can also write it down. It is gain of channel 1 into voltage 1 plus gain of channel 2 into voltage 2 plus gain of channel 3 into voltage 3 in a bracket, then before that a minus, which is implying that this amplifier is an inverting amplifier. So in space of all the gain and all the voltages, we are putting the values, and as a result the output becomes minus 3.1 volt. So this is the application of voltage adder. This is an example of voltage adder. This type of problem may come in your semester exam also. So you can practice it and I will share some problems with you of op-amp after we complete all the modules. Okay. So thank you students. In this video, we have described about the application of op-amp. We have studied voltage follower circuit. We have studied op-amp as an adder or summing amplifier. We have done one example on mathematical example on summing amplifier. And if you have missed the previous videos, I will share the link in the description box also. So thank you once again. Thank you for seeing this. Hello students, welcome back to a new lesson of op-amp application. In our previous videos, we have covered different types of op-amp applications. Since I have already told you that operational amplifier, it has a huge range of application, right? in analog electronics, you can have most of the devices that can be developed using op-amp. So here in this video, we will again cover some applications of op-amp. These are the topics that we are going to cover today. These are logarithmic amplifier, anti-logarithmic amplifier, and very important instrumentation amplifier. It's important in terms of your exam. It's important in terms of your project work. You can develop any kind of amplifier by using this instrumentation amplifier, okay? So these three are the one of the most applied application of op-amp. So let us first start with logarithmic amplifier. Now, what is logarithmic amplifier? In our last video, we have discussed about integrator differentiator using op-amp. As op-amp can be used for any mathematical or logical operation with similar point of view, this mathematical operation, logarithmic operation, can also be done using an operational amplifier. So a logarithmic amplifier, it can be easily said that whenever the output voltage is proportional to the logarithm of input voltage, that type of circuit, if we can design using op-amp, that is defined as logarithmic amplifier. So a logarithmic amplifier or a log amplifier is an electronic circuit that produces an output that is proportional to the logarithm of the applied input. An op-amp based logarithmic amplifier produces a voltage at the output. As you all know, in analog electronics, whenever we are talking about any voltage or current, that is the analog signal. So a logarithmic amplifier that produces a voltage at the output which is proportional to the logarithm of the voltage applied to the resistor connected to its inverting terminal. Yes, again there is a question of inverting and non-inverting. In the most of the cases, we use inverting type amplifier. So what is inverting type amplifier? Whenever the input voltage is being provided to the inverting terminal, that is the negative terminal of an op-amp, that is known as inverting amplifier. These all types like inverting, non-inverting, integrator, differentiator, all are being discussed in the previous videos. I will share the links of those videos also, so you can go through those videos before you see this discussion of logarithmic amplifier. Now look at this circuit diagram. This is the logarithmic amplifier design. So we can have an op-amp. The input voltage is being applied, as I have already told you, in the inverting terminal. The positive terminal is being grounded, that non-inverting, and the feedback path. In case of integrator differentiator, we have seen that the feedback path was designed using capacitor, right? So in this case, that feedback path is being designed with the use of diode. This is the difference between a normal operation of op-amp and a logarithmic amplifier. So the non-inverting terminal, as you can see here, it's being connected to ground. That means 0 voltage is applied at the non-inverting input terminal. Now, if we consider the virtual short concept, the point where the incoming current and the feedback current is getting connected, at that point, if we apply the nodal equation, we can have that Vi minus Vi by R1 plus feedback current equal to 0. Now in our basic electronics, we have already studied about diode and the current of forward equation of diode. So the forward bias equation of current for a diode can be written as its incoming current into e to the power terminal voltage divided by N into VA. Now what is IS? IS is the saturation current of diode. For a particular diode, there will be a rated saturation current that is denoted by IS. So IS we can get from the rated value of diode. VF is the voltage drop across diode when it is forward biased. Vt is the thermal equivalent voltage. Now, if we apply KVL equation in the feedback loop of the op-amp, it will become minus Vf minus V0 equal to 0. Since this is being an inverting amplifier, so the minus Vf is being used. Now, substitute the value of Vf in equation 2 and we can have the equation 3, that is the value of forward bias current of If. Again, observe the left hand side terms of both equation 1 and 3. Hence, we can equate the right hand side and we can write Vi by R1 equals to Is into e to the power minus V0 by N into Vt. And see, from this equation, if we replace the value of E, we need to take log in both sides, and from there we can write that natural logarithm, that is ln of Vi by R1 into Is equals to minus V0 by N into Vt. So in the above equation, if the parameters N, Vt and Is are constant, and we can conclude that the output voltage V0 will be proportional to the natural logarithm of the input voltage Vi for a fixed value of resistance R1. Therefore, the op-amp based logarithmic amplifier circuit discussed will be produce an output which is proportional to the natural logarithm of the input voltage Vt when R1 Is equals to 1 volt. Here we have observed negative sign which indicates that there exists a 180-degree phase difference between the input and the output. And you can again assume that why this negative sign is being there, because this is a construction of an inverting op-amp, and whenever we are design an inverting op-amp, there will be a phase shift between the input voltage and the output voltage. So this was all about a logarithmic amplifier. Next we will cover anti-log amplifier. An anti-log amplifier or an anti-logarithmic amplifier is an electronic circuit that produces an output that is proportional to the anti-logarithm of the applied input. Now, from the concept of integrator and differentiator, you can easily assume that the place of diode and the resistor will be interchanged, and the same thing has been done over here. In our previous diagram, in the diagram of logarithmic amplifier, diode has been used as the feedback element, whereas here diode is being used as the input element, and as a feedback resistance, here we have used a resistor. With a similar concept, here also the non-inverting terminal is being grounded, that is the voltage applied over the positive terminal is 0. And by using virtual concept of an op-amp and by using nodal equation at the input terminal, we can write minus If plus minus V0 by Rf equal to 0. And from there we can have a equation of voltage V0, that is minus Rf into If. This is our feedback part. Now come to the input part. Here we must know the equation of forward bias current of diode. So again, If equals to Is into e to the power Vf by NVT. And if we substitute the value of If in the equation of output voltage, we can write V0 equal to minus Rf into the substituted value of If. And from there, we can have our equation output voltage, which is proportional to the anti-log of input voltage. So if again the parameters N, Vt and Is are considered to be constant, the output voltage will be proportional to anti-logarithm of the input voltage Vi for a fixed value resistance of Rf. So an anti-logarithmic amplifier and a logarithmic amplifier both are being used to perform the mathematical operation of log and anti-log, and this can be easily designed by using an op-amp. The external parameters the external element that we need to design an anti-log or logarithmic amplifier is a diode. Next, instrumentation amplifier. As I've already told, it's also important from your exam points of view, because each and every year from op-amp application, they maintain a question about instrumentation amplifier. It may be in terms of a short note about the application of instrumentation amplifier or the principal operation of instrumentation amplifier. So before we answer this question, we need to know what is an instrumentation amplifier. An instrumentation amplifier is used to amplify very low level signals, rejecting noise and interference signal. See, some of the cases, it's not mandatory that we are getting 230 volt or we are getting 440 volt or any three phase. Since we are dealing with electronic devices, we have to deal with very low signals, and that low signals may be in terms of millivolt or microvolt range. But this is not mandatory that all our devices can record the low level signals, and in those cases the application of instrumentation amplifier comes. So an instrumentation amplifier, as the name implies, it can amplify the need of voltage level or the need of signal levels according to the instrument that are being used in the project. So it's used to amplify very low level signal. So what are the characteristics of an instrumentation amplifier? Inputs to the instrumentation amplifier will have very low signal energy. Therefore, the instrumentation amplifiers should have high gain and should be accurate. The gain should be easily adjustable using a single control. It should be easily controlled. Otherwise, we cannot incorporate it into a project where many other instruments are being used. It must have high input impedance and low output impedance to prevent loading. Since it's an amplifier, since it's being designed using op-amp, so the main property of op-amp is also present over here. That is, it has high input impedance and low output impedance. The instrumentation amplifier should have high CMRR, since the transducer output will usually contain common mode signals such as noise when transmitted over long wires. It must also have a high slew rate to handle sharp rise times of events and provide a maximum undistorted output voltage swing. So these are the essential characteristics of instrumentation amplifier. Now what are the advantages? The gain of a 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier. Why it's being called as 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier? When I'll come to the next slide, I can show you the circuit design of an instrumentation amplifier, and there you can see that it's being designed using 3 op-amps. So it's also known as 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier. So it can be easily varied by adjusting the value of only one resistor. The gain of the amplifier depends only on the external resistor used. The input impedance is very high due to the emitter-follower configuration of amplifier 1 and 2. The output impedance of the instrumentation amplifier is very low due to the difference amplifier 3. The CMRR of the op-amp 3 is very high, and almost all of the common mode signal will be rejected. Now, what is the difference? Is there any difference between a normal op-amp and an instrumentation amplifier? Yes, there is some differences that we can find between these two types of amplifier. So an operational amplifier is one kind of an integrated circuit. We all know that we can have operational amplifier op-amp using just 741 IC, right? But we have to design an instrumentation amplifier. It cannot be obtained from market using any IC. So the instrumentation amplifier is one type of differential amplifier. Instrumentation amplifier can be built with 3 operational amplifiers. The differential amplifier can be built with a single operational amplifier. The output voltage of difference amplifier gets affected because of the mismatched resistors. Instrumentation amplifier offers gain with a single resistor of its primary phase, which does not need a resistor matching. So these are the difference between a normal op-amp and an instrumentation amplifier. Yes, here is the diagram of instrumentation amplifier using op-amp. As I have already told you that it's a 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier. Yes, you can see here that total 3 number of op-amps have been used over here. First, 2 voltages V1 and V2 are being applied in op-amp 1 and 2, and differential amplifier op-amp 3 is being used as a differential amplifier, where the voltages from op-amp 1 and 2 are used as the input. So op-amp 1 and 2 are non-inverting amplifier, and op-amp 3 is a difference amplifier. These 3 op-amps together form an instrumentation amplifier. Instrumentation amplifier's final output, Vout, is the amplified difference of the input signals applied to the input terminals of op-amp 3. If the output voltage from op-amp 1 and op-amp 2 are V1 and V2, then we can write output voltage of the instrumentation amplifier, that is Vout, equals to R3 by R2 into V1 minus V2. This is the working details of instrumentation amplifier, using which we can design an instrumentation amplifier. So we have just taken the part of op-amp 1 again and the part of op-amp 2, and then by adding those 2 outputs and applying that to a differential amplifier, we have designed the ultimate output of instrumentation amplifier. So here you can see that the difference of 2 op-amp, that is V01 minus V02, has been calculated, and ultimately the output, V output, has been obtained, which is proportional to the difference between V01 and V02. Now, what are the application of instrumentation amplifier? Where do we use this type of amplifiers? Instrumentation amplifiers are used in data acquisition for small output transducer like thermocouple, strain gauge, measurement of Wheatstone bridge, etc. These amplifiers are used in navigation, medical, radar, etc. These amplifiers are used to enhance the signal to noise ratio in audio application like audio signal with low amplitude. These amplifiers are used for imaging as well as video data acquisition in the conditioning of high-speed signal, and these are used in RF cable system for amplification of the high-frequency signal. So these are the important application of instrumentation amplifier. So in this video, we have covered about logarithmic amplifier, anti-logarithmic amplifier, and instrumentation amplifier. About logarithmic amplifier and anti-logarithmic amplifier, you have studied that these are the mathematical operations that we can perform using op-amp. When the output voltage is proportional to the natural logarithm of input voltage, that is defined by logarithmic amplifier, and the vice versa can be defined by anti-logarithmic amplifier. In aspect of design point of view, there is a new element that's being used, that is a diode in place of input resistor or in place of feedback resistor in case of log amplifier or anti-log amplifier. Now for instrumentation amplifier, it's a 3 op-amp amplifier which is used to amplify any low level signal. But the two inputs op-amp that are being used, these are used as a non-inverting amplifier, and the number 3 amplifier that is used by differential amplifier. So these are all we have covered in this video. If you have any doubts regarding any parts from this video, you can share that in the comment section and I will definitely solve it. So thank you once again for watching this video. Thank you.